adjourned. And we'll move on to the regular meeting of the town board, beginning at 6:43. And Madam Clerk, if you would call the roll.
Chairman Merrick,
Present. Present.
Supervisor Bansky,
Here.
Supervisor Wolf,
Here.
Supervisor Lasky,
Here.
Supervisor Fisher.
Here.
And Madam Clerk, have we met all the requirements of the open meetings law?
Yes, we have.
Thank you. And we'll begin with citizens' comments.
Venus, W252-S4485, Drive. I'd just like to give you this copy of the displaying the American flag. You can keep it on file, Kathy,
Okay.
so we don't bounce the flag back and forth every meeting.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Betty Hodgett, South 57 West 22641, Woodside Court. First of all, I would like to thank Mr. Mansky and Mr. Laska for their service to the town. Secondly, I would like to thank Kathy for her invaluable help and service during the April 1st election. We had way more people than we had planned for, and Kathy very efficiently found us another person to work the polls. I also would like the board to look at the pay scale for Erin in light of the fact that she has many additional duties that she has taken on since we have a new clerk and since we no longer have part-time help. I think that we need to look at her pay scale. Additionally, I would like to thank Mr. Merrick, although I'm not supposed to mention his name, the chairman, because he put together, although on a very short notice and very briefly, a sewer system proposal to hook up to the town. And I know it wasn't complete, and I know that it wasn't accurate as far as numbers were concerned, because you didn't actually have contractors look at it. But it was a proposal, and it gives us a choice between an on-site one and hooking up to the city. And I hope that the board looks at it very carefully in terms of what it will cost us in the future and what the lifetime of a mound system might be, and also the fact that the Department of Public Works that we have here puts oil and grease into theirs, and I don't know if the city will accept that in their sewer system, or whether we will have to do something else with that. So I'd like you to look at it very carefully and do a cost analysis for the town in, say, the next 10 or 20 years, because we know the city is going to be raising their sewer rates. Also, I'd like to know how they're going to monitor our sewer use, because typically they monitor the water use, but we'll be using our own water, so we're going to have to figure out something like that. And that might be a problem. But I would like you to look at it very carefully, because these are two options we have, and we need to make the best option. Thank you.
Thank you.
Janet Blades, L31 West 26111 South Drive. To
Tonight, Joe Bansky and Mike Glass's terms on the town board essentially come to an end. Next week, the new supervisors will be sworn in. My remarks are for Joe. In his time on the board, who did we trust? Joe Bansky. Because he helped keep our taxes low and did not tax to the maximum. Others wanted to. Thanks, Joe. Who did we trust? Joe Bansky. He made sure there was money in the budget to pay for a new septic system. The others budgeted no septic money. Thanks, Joe. Who did we trust? Joe Bansky. He told the truth about the city's Plan B, which was to use our shallow aquifer if the city did not obtain Lake Michigan water. The others didn't. Thanks, Joe. Who did we trust? Joe Bansky. He obtained the services of Kathleen Nicholas as clerk treasurer when there was no one else in the office who could do the job. This ensured a well-run election. The others waffled and had no viable solution. Thanks, Joe. Who did we trust? Joe Bansky. We knew Joe would work hard to investigate every agenda item carefully. We knew he would find the nuances which others missed. Thanks, Joe. I could go on and on about the impact of Joe's presence on the board, but who did I trust? Joe Bansky. Did he always vote in my favor? No. But I knew his votes were not personal, but came from his belief in balancing his constituents' concern with what was best for the town. He has served with integrity, responsibility, and character. Thanks, Joe Bansky. Your work for the town will be missed.
Thank you.
Good evening. Sandy Hahn, West 230, South 3827, Milky Way Road. I just want to echo the comments of the last two. Mr. Bansky, Mr. Laska, thank you very much for your service to the town.
Thank you. Anybody else? Then we'll move on. Approval of the meeting minutes, March 13th, 18th, and 27th. Does anybody need to take these separately?
Yes,
Okay, which one?
all March 13th. I'll pass this out. The top portion indicates what I'd like to see on those meetings. I will approve, oh, I'm sorry. I will approve these minutes of the 13th if this is added to the below content as it states. We've had, somehow we deviated from who made what statement. In other words, if Supervisor Bansky said something that was noted, or if Wolf said something, or Laska said something that would be noted, but now it's just a paragraph, and it doesn't even say who said those words. I think minutes should really have that. I'll give you guys time to review and go from there.
So is this a verbatim?
No, this is taken right from the videotape.
Right, is it verbatim?
Verbatim meaning off of the videotape, yes.
Verbatim meaning exact words.
The best I could make out of the volume, I suppose it was a little better than perhaps the tape recording that.
Okay. So then I would ask that the clerk in the coming days review that. If these are the verbatim, then we'll add them to the minutes and vote on them at the next meeting.
Mr. Chairman, that's fine, but let me just tell you that in instances like this, many times they'll just approve the minutes subject to this being an attachment. It is what it is. It's what he's asked to be attached to the minutes. It either is or isn't a verbatim. You can do that. I mean, I'm not saying you can't do that. But if a citizen walks up under citizens' comments and hands in their comments, we don't check to make sure that they're verbatim what they said. We just say that that's what the citizen asked to be attached to the minutes. I'm just saying one way you could deal with this is just to pass a motion to approve the minutes with the amendment that the attachment per the supervisor's request be attached to the minutes.
Be fine with that. Anybody else?
They'll be part of the minutes.
I don't have an objection to that, but I would like to, I don't think this document identifies who is providing these. I'd like to have Supervisor Laska's name attached to it. That would be appropriate.
Fair enough.
Only have one other comment, and it's really a small correction thing, but on page 4, I have to look here, I think, of the minutes. Give me just a minute to find that. If you go to page 4, Kathy, just a little bit below the middle of the page where the paragraph starts out, Chris Janelli was present. And if you go to the very end of the end of the 5th line, a very small correction, but that price of $23 per square foot should be per lineal foot. A small picky-ish thing, but if you would pick that up, I'd appreciate it.
Anybody else have any comments on that, or need to take any of the other minutes separately?
Can we vote on this minutes and go to the next two?
Sure.
Well, I make a motion that we approve the minutes from March 13th, 2014, and add the comments that I had made to be part of those minutes. I'll second it.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries, and then we've got the 18th and the 27th.
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.